Hello my dear students, let's continue with the second module, and this video will discuss with the chapter dictionaries. So in the previous videos we have discussed the list chapter and we have completed all the concepts of the list chapter. So coming to the next data structure from the Python, that is the dictionaries. So what is basically a dictionary? A dictionary is a collection of many values as you do in the list. So list also contains the collection of the many different values, and dictionary is also a collection of the many values here. But how does it is going to be a different from the list? Well, we'll discuss in the further slides here. So the indexes for the dictionaries are called the keys, and the key with its associated value is called a key value pair. So I think in the other programming languages you might have gone through the data structure where you have stored the values with respect to the keys, like the hashtags and the hash data structures. The same way in Python it is said to be as a dictionary where you are going to store the values in the form of a key value pair. So these are the few examples here, but before discussing these examples I just want to discuss a basic syntax where you can create a dictionary variable. So there are the two ways how you can create the dictionaries here. So the first way is take a variable name. For example, I take it as a dict1 is equal to, simply you can take the name of the constructor as dict followed by the parenthesis. So here if you type this dict1 just to know what kind of variable it is, so it shows you here that a square flower braces over here, so which indicates that it is a dictionary variable. So if you have forgotten, let me recall that the lists are identified with a square bracket, the tuples are identified with the round brackets, whereas the dictionary variables are identified with the flower braces here. So this is in this case this is the one way how you can create a dictionary. The syntax is the name of the variable followed by equal to followed by the constructor name is dict followed by the parenthesis. The another way is here, I'll take it as a dict2. So here in this case simply you can take the flower vases here. So this is also the one of the method where you can create the dict2 as a dictionary variable here. If you want to check, you can go through it and type the dict2 and press the enter key. So again it will show you the empty flower vases here, indicating that dict2 is also an dictionary variable here. So coming to the further examples here, so how we are going to add the values here. For example, I'll take it as a x now. So I'll take it the square bracket, flower braces over here. So always the values of the dictionaries needs to be in the form of a key value pair. So for example, I'll take the value as a key as a first part of the key value pair is the key only. So suppose if you have the string as a key here, so take that string name followed by the colon and followed by the value. So not mandatorily that the key should be always string whereas the values to be always the integer. No, you can take the vice versa as well. You can have the keys as a numbers and values also as a strings here. So choice is left to you depending upon the what kind of values you want to store into the dictionary. So however the keys needs to be the unique here. So this together is said to be as a one element to this dictionary here. Apple with the value 4 is said to be as a one element to the dictionary. So followed by you can add the as many elements as you want. So how you are going to separate the elements in the dictionaries followed by the comma here. So I'll take the next as a mango. So mango being the 5, and now I'll close this dictionary. I'll press the enter. So this is what has been done here. X is a dictionary variable in which we have included the elements into the flower braces. Why I'm stressing this flower braces is the dictionary data structure is identified with the flower braces, and the elements into the dictionary are always in the form of a key value pair. So the first part being a key and the second part being the value, and both are separated with a colon here. That means these together is considered as a one element of the dictionary, right? So if I type only the X here, we'll get the all the elements here. So you are going to get the key values into the flower basis, indicating the dictionary values here. So similarly in this slide we have taken the many examples here. So you can see here my cat is a variable name which has been initialized with a flower basis, telling that my cat is a dictionary variable. So into which you can see here the keys are the string, and even the values are also the string here. So size being a key, fat being a value, color being a key, gray being a value, disposition being a key, and love being a value here. So these together is considered as a one element of this dictionary. This is the second element, this is the third element, right? So here how we are going to access the element, as you did in the list and the tuples, you are in the list and tuples you are going to access the elements with a specific index value, but in dictionary value you are going to access the elements with the key value over here. So we'll see in the further slides how you can do that, right? So as I told you that the keys are not necessarily being the strings, and the values are not necessarily being the only integers. So any kind of the data you can take it as a key, and any kind of the data you can take it as a value here. So in this next example, what we have done here, we are trying to access the value here. So how you can access the any of the values from the dictionary data structure is you can access them with a specific key here. So you can see here the name of the variable here, name of the variable followed by the square bracket, and into the square bracket you have to take the key if you want to access the specific value associated with that key over here. So in this case you can see my cat of size, so which will give you the fat as an answer. So let me show you with the example what we have executed over there. So here X is a variable name, so take that variable name, and if you want to access the value associated with the apple, so take that apple, and this has to be taken. If you want to access the value associated with the any key has to be taken within the square bracket, even though it is a dictionary variable here. Press enter. So you can see here you are getting the value that is associated with this key here. So this is one of the way how you can access the values associated with the any of the keys in the dictionary data structure. So this same concept can be used whenever you want to print any message on the screen. Like in this case you can see here my cats has concatenation operator. This is accessing the specific value that has stored in the dictionary variable here, my cat of color plus fur, right? So you can see here this is going to access the gray as an answer to this. You can see here my cat has gray fur here, right? So in the next example here one more dictionary has been created. You can see the keys are integers here and values are the strings here. This is just to show you that you can take the any kind of the combination or the different kinds of the data into the keys and values combination over here. So now coming to the next concept, where we are going to compare between the dictionaries versus the list, or else how does the dictionary is going to be different from the list here. So basically there are the three differences, and I have highlighted the each of the difference with the blue color here, so that you can remember it properly, which can be asked in your examination. So students, let's concentrate here. Whenever you have been asked to compare dictionaries versus list, you are not supposed to write only this statement followed by this example over here. So along with stating this statement and the example, you need to describe how does it is going to be different with respect to this point here. So we'll see what is the difference here. So unlike list, items in the dictionaries are unordered. So whenever you create a list and whenever you add elements into the list, so each element is added with a specific index value right from the order 0 to the n-1. For example, here you can see the spam is a variable which has been created as a list, and where you have added the elements as cats, dogs and moose. So all these elements are added in a order, that is cats being a 0, 1 and 2. So if you want to print or if you want to access, always the order of these elements are going to be remains same. So in the same way, here you can see backon has been created as another list variable where you have added the same elements here, but instead of the order instead of the same order, you have taken the different orders here. For example, in the span, you have taken the cats as a first element, dogs as a second element, and moose as a third element. So in the background you can see the dogs has been taken as a first element, moose being a second element, cats being the third element. So if you want to do the comparison between these two elements to check whether they are same or not, even though you have the same set of the elements, but the order of these elements lies different with these two variables here. So if you do comparison whether they are equal, you are going to get the result as false. So this shows that the order is going to play an important role with respect to the list. So if you follow the same thing with dictionary here, let's check what happens here. So in the next example, you can see here x, excuse me, x. You have the x as being a dictionary variable. You have the elements as name Zophie, name being a key, Zophie being a value, and the next element is species with cat, age with 8. So in the next statement, we have taken the another variable ham as a dictionary variable where we have added the same set of the elements into this variable but with a different order here. So now if we want to do the any comparison between these two dictionary variables where we have the same set of elements with a different order. So if you check and try to do that, you will get the result as a true. Why? Because the order with respect to the dictionary is not that much important. That means if you have the same set of the elements, so even if it is with a different order, those values are going to be considered as equal here, right? So this is what is difference here. So the second point is because the dictionaries are not ordered, they cannot be sliced like the list. So I hope you remember the slicing concept that we have applied on the list. So that slicing concept is not that much applicable to the dictionaries. So why? Because in the slicing concept you are going to extract the subset of the elements from the list with specific index value. So if you want to access the two elements, that is 0 and 1, here you are going to take it as a 0 to 2 where you will be able to access the cats and the dogs here. But if you are going to apply the same thing over here, you are not going to get the same values. Why? Because these are not going to be identified with the index value, hence the slicing cannot be used on the dictionaries. So if you want to check out, I'll show you one more thing here. See, we have created the x as a variable where we have added, and we have printed x where we have got these two values. So let me check out if I print once again. So now it's not showing anything, but if you try to create a dictionary variable where you have added the more number of elements, for example, you might have added the 5 to 6 or 6 to 7 elements into the dictionary variable, and when you print the same variable again and again, in the most of the cases you might get the different orders of the elements every time over there. So try to check out by yourself. So that shows that the order of the elements in the dictionary variable is not that much important over there. So the third difference between the dictionary and the list are trying to access a key that doesn't exist in the dictionary will result in a key error message, much like a list out of range index error message. So what I mean to say is the error message that is going to be displayed if you try to access the element which is not present in the data structure is going to be different with respect to the list and the dictionaries. So in case of the list, if you try to access the element which doesn't exist, you will get the error message as the out of range index error message. And if you try to do same thing with the dictionary here, for example, you can see a spam is equal to name Zophie age 7. And in the next statement, you are trying to access the value that is associated with the key color which is not present over here. So in this case, you can see here you are getting the error message as a that doesn't exist over there. This key doesn't exist, so which is slight different with respect to the list. In case of the list, you will get the error message as the out of range. So what I want you people to do is, you people please do remember these 3 points technically, that how does the dictionaries and lists are different. The first point is in case with the order, where the dictionaries are totally unordered. In the second case, the slicing cannot be applied on the dictionaries. In the third case, the error message that is going to be displayed with the list and dictionaries in case when you try to access the element which is not present in the data structure. So now, if the order is not that much important, then how does it is going to help for to access the elements from the dictionaries, or in which kind of applications you can use this data structure? To understand this scenario, we'll experiment with the dictionary example known as the birthdays.py. So let me show you the execution of this function here. So here is an example. So what basically this program does is, we have taken a birthdays at a dictionary variable in which we have added the elements as a person's name as a key, and the values being their respective birthdays. For example, you can see here birthdays is a dictionary variable in which the first element is Alice, is the name of a person which is added as a key, and value to this key is the birthday of that person, which is also a string here. So second element being again the name of a second person, and value being again the birthday of this person, and third element is the again name of a person and the value being the birthday of this person here. So like this we have created a static dictionary over here, and as a program what we are doing here is, we are asking the user to enter the name of the person, and if the name of that person is present in this dictionary, you are supposed to display the respective birthday of that person being the message over there. And if that name is not present, you are supposed to add that value to the dictionary, saying that the birthday database has been updated here. So first I'll execute this program and let you know how does it executes, and then we'll discuss the logic that has been used for writing this function here. So I'll just close it. So it is asking me to enter the name of a person, in which I'll enter the Alice. So you can see here April 1 is the birthday of the Alice. Is that so? Yes, April 1 is the birthday of the Alice, and it is into the infinite loop, that is while always being a true condition. If you want to come out of the loop, you are supposed to enter the blank line, that is simply entering the pressing the enter key here. So I'll give the one more name here as a Carol. Press enter. So you can see here the March 4th. March 4th is the birthday of the Carol. So now it is asking me the another name, where I'll take it as a John, John, which is not present in the dictionary. So in that case, see here it will display, I do not have the birthday information for John. So it will ask the its birthday. For example, I'll enter it as a June 1st. So what has been done here? Birthday database has been updated. Now let me see whether I'll get the birthday of that new person here. Yes, I'm getting it here. You can see. You can see June 1st is the birthday of John. So this is how it is going to execute, where every time it is going to ask the name of the person, and as a result it is going to display the birthday of that person. And if you suppose if you type a name of the person which is not present in that database, it will ask the birthday where the database will be updated over. And then how to come out of this loop is simply press the enter key, so you will be out of that loop. So to do this, what has been done in this program is, you can see here, as I told you, static dictionary has been created here while true, and in this true condition you are always going to read a name of a person, and you are going to give a hint to the person user, that when it has to, how he has to end, by pressing the blank to quit. And for reading, I hope already you are familiar with this function now, using the input function. So you can see here to check what needs to be done once the input has been given by the user. First thing is you are going to check whether it is a blank. Why? Because if it is a blank, you have to come out of this loop itself. So for that you can use the break statement. If it is not a blank, so next you need to check the name entered by the user, whether it is present in this dictionary or not. So how you can do that? So the name what is given by the user is in the form of a key. So for that to operate on the dictionaries, how you can do it? Take the if condition, the name where you have read it, and in operator you can directly use on the dictionary variable, where this in operator or with a single variable here, it is going to search for the keys only. So don't worry, it is not going to search for the values. So if you use the in operator on the dictionary variable, this is going to search for the keys automatically. So the name is going to be searched for the every key here. So if it is present, then what needs to be done? You are supposed to display that key along with its associated value. So how to access the associated values here? All of you know that. So birthdays being a name of a dictionary variable, and within the square bracket the key that you have read from the user. So if it is present, the birthdays of that name will give you the value associated with this key here. So concatenation operator is the birthday of and along with the key that you are going to print here. Right. So this is the case if the name is present in the dictionary here. So suppose if it is not present, suppose the user has entered the name which is not present in this dictionary. So in that case, it will go for the else part where you need to update the database. So first of all, you have to print some message that I do not have the birthday information for that name. So what is their birthday? Read that birthday here in the form of a string birthday. So how to add it? So one of the way to add the contents to the dictionary is, so whatever you have read, the name, so that is going to be the key, right? So how to access the key here? So dictionary variable name followed by the square bracket, and into the square bracket the key that you are going to add is equal to the value that you want to assign for that key. So this statement is going to add the key with specific value to that dictionary here. So lastly, you just display a simple message as the birthday database update. So this is a very simplest way of writing an example where you can show the how dictionaries can be effectively utilized. So these are the scenarios where you want to require to use the dictionary data structure, where the order is not going to be that much important as you do it with the list and the tuples over there. I hope this example is clear to you. So coming to the next concept, there are the three methods that you can use on the dictionaries here. So the keys method, values method, and the items method. So what happens if you are going to use these three methods? We'll see here. So in this case, you can see here spam is equal to color, red, age 42. These are the dictionary elements that has been added to the dictionary variable spam. So in the next statement, what we have done here, so it would be much better if I show it with you some example here. So here what I'll show you, let me create a dictionary variable as a x, and I'll take very simple example here. One. So here I have created the x as a dictionary variable. So now I hope now it is clear to you that A is a key, B is a key, C is a key, and 1 is a value associated with A, 3 is a value associated with the B, and 6 is the value associated to 6 here. So to this dictionary now, we'll see how these methods are going to work out here, right? So Let us apply the for loop for I in x dot values. So print. See what we have done here. We have used the for loop to be used on the dictionaries and iteration variable being I, but we have not directly applied on the entire dictionary here. Instead, what we have done, we have used the dictionary variable dot values. So this part will indicate that you have to, for each iteration it has to access through the only values that has been associated with the each of the keys into this dictionary. So if I print this, you'll get to know that what you are going to get the result here. You can see here. So for the each iteration it is going to access only the values here instead of the key value pair. If you want to access only the values that are stored in this dictionary, you can go with the method known as the values here. So how you can use this method is you can use it on the dictionary variable dot, the name of the method is values followed by the parenthesis. In the same way, we'll see what happens if we use the keys methods here. So instead of the values, I'll take here the name of the method as a keys. So let me check what I'll get here. So you can identify the difference here. This keys is going to get you the only the keys that has been stored into this dictionary here. So I hope you are getting the difference here. The syntax for the both these two methods remains the same here, right? So in this case, make sure that you take the dictionary variable name followed by the dot and followed by the values method in case if you want to access the only the values from that dictionary. And in the next case, if you want to access only the keys that has been stored in the dictionary variable, you can take the keys method here. Now let us see what happens if you take the items method over here. So if you take the items method here, so you can see here if you are getting the key value pair here. So you can see here A1 as the first value, B3 being the second value, and C6 being the third value. That means to the each iteration, it is going to point to the total one element, that is the key value pair from the dictionary, and it is going to print. But have you observed in what way this items has displayed the result here? It has not simply displayed as a colon 1, B colon 3 and C colon 6. Instead it has it has displayed the result using the round parenthesis, which is nothing but a tuples here. So this thing you have to remember here. Whenever you apply the items method on the dictionary variable, it is going to give you the all the elements of the list in the key value but in the form of a tuples here, right? So I hope the values method, keys method and the items method are much clear to you, right? So in case if you want to access the values or the results in the form of a list, so in that case what you can go for doing is, so you can see here you can directly use the list constructor, or you can see the list type conversion on the spam dot keys or on the spam dot values, where you will be able to get the result in the form of the square brackets. So for example, here I'll show you list of x dot values. Let's see what will get the result here. List, it's not lists, it's only list here. You can see here, when you simply use only the x dot values, you are going to get the values as a normal result over there. But in case if you want the result to be in the form of a list, you can go for using the list type conversion on these methods here. So in the same way you can also go for using the list x dot keys here. So in this case you are going to get the keys result, all the keys of the dictionary in the form of a list here. So you can see here you are getting these results in the square brackets, which tells that the results has been displayed into the in the form of a list here. So as we go on discussing the more examples, you'll become more familiar that why do you require these type conversions, why these values are methods can be used, and where these keys methods can be used, and where the items methods can be used. So further things will continue in the next video.